Any of you belong to economics and statistics or mathematics who have a good knowledge of statistics? Is there anyone in the class who belongs to statistics or economics, geography,
Yes, ma'am. Economics.
economics, geography,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Yes,
Economics.
yeah. So in that, yes,
Aparna Pratap is she is from statistics.
statistics. Okay, that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, field statistics.
So here you don't have to go into the much detail of these things, but yes, a bit of knowledge is required for the research. So what is basically statistical analysis? Statistical analysis is the process of analyzing data collection through observation and experiment to arrive the decisions. When we are collecting the data, then definitely it is the method in which we used to take decisions, we used to do observations and experiments to take some decision about our findings of the results. Okay, so researchers in all the academic field and industry undertake statistical analysis to answer questions, develop cause and effect relationship, identify patterns, and develop further research ideas. Basically, what happens in the statistical analysis, we have to answer the questions like what basically the data is all about, what is the cause and effect relationship of the data, what is the identifying, what is the pattern you have identified in the complete research topic, and the develop further research idea. You have to also identify there, you also have to work on that how the particular area, how the particular topic is working like. Okay, how it is, how we are doing the analysis, that is also a part of statistical analysis. Now, statistical analysis is routinely used in agriculture, arts and literature, biology, business, economics, education, entertainment, environment, finance, food and drink, games, health, law, media, psychology, politics, and etc. So basically, how it is related to is agriculture, in how many or what is the size of the a field, what is the production, all these things will be the data. In art and literature, the publication date, the frequency of the publication, number of characters, their roles, the kind of involvement into the real life, the major events which a writer is have dealt with, other kind of performance art and all. Biology is completely based on data, business, economics, education, everywhere we need data and we have to analyze them. So when we used to analyze the data, we use statistical analysis. How? Because we used to take mean, mode, median, such kind of statistical analysis is very common. So now the process of
Ma'am, not audible.
just a minute, just a minute. Yes, now am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
audible.
Okay. Maybe some that I think network is fluctuating. So this is the process of statistical analysis. The process of statistical analysis is defined as studying data to answer question about the cause and effect relationship between the real life effect events. So here, how the particular event has happened, how it is being affecting everything. So the question about the relationship with the real life event, whatever it has happened, उसका real life event से किस तरीके से relationship है, that we used to discuss in our statistical analysis. What kind of data we have collect to observe. First, to establish cause and effect relationship, definitely we used to do it, why it happens and what will be the effect, that is also a kind of data. Predict future behavior, it's like if in 2000 the population is X, then in 2010 the population was Y, then in 2030 approximately what will be the population we used to product on the ratio or proportion of its increment or decrement. So we used to predict the future behavior. suggest solution. If such kind, if tendency of the population increment or the population growth is very high, then how to decrease it, how to control it. So we used to suggest solution for that also. Then identify patterns. We used to identify pattern, then between this to this year it was high, then it was a bit like lower. Then during the corona period, what was the actual rate of population growth or something, we used to identify patterns. In which state, what is the rate? In which state, what is the education rate? Another, all the state have different education rates. So we used to observe the behavior and pattern also. Then look for change in behavior, how the particular behavior in the different fields can be changed. Just like if Rajasthan have a very low education rate, if Kerala has a very high education rate, then how it can be changed, how it can be increased more, and how it can be changed. What is the difference? What are the factors which is causing such kind of effects? So we have to study overall efficacy, overall behavior of the data. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, here is the example of the real life situation we have taken, that is statistical analysis is used in all aspects of life and business to evaluate the pattern in data, to explore possible relationship, to determine cause and effect, to identify pattern, to predict possible outcome. Some examples of data analysis include, क्या है यहाँ पे? First, drug manufacturer analyze vaccine data for efficacy. That whatever chemical or pharma industry is working here, and they are producing, they are developing some vaccine or some drug, then obviously their product or participants will be the normal person. They will approach to the doctor and will say, ki, please do suggest this medicine for the particular problem, and we want to observe the effect of it. So teacher analyze the students score data for lesson effectiveness. It's like she has taught a lesson and then she is taking the test because she wants to know the effect, that what is the effect of my teaching. Researcher analyze poverty and crime data for cause inferences. Now, if a researcher of economics or law or some other field is analyzing that what is the ratio of poverty and crime. If a person is poor, he is more prone to crime or a lesser prone to crime, or is there any kind of ethical things are there? A crime can be done just on the basis of choice. So that is he is studying. Now learning center analyzes income and education data for exploring further education business opportunity, that how education is affecting the business opportunities. Now types of statistical analysis, how many types of statistical analysis are here? There are three major types of statistical analysis are here. First is your descriptive analysis. Descriptive analysis is when you are finding the result using mean, mode, and median. That is called descriptive analysis, because you will take the data, you will find out the mean, mode, and median, and will describe it in your own words, that what is basically the data is all about, what is your uh, calculation, and what actually you wanted to find the result, and what is your finding. So you will basically make a connection between all these things, and that is what called descriptive analysis of data. In mean is the average value, median is a middle value of the ordered data, and mode is the data value that appear the most. That is basically the analysis. Now, measures of dispersion of data include range, interquartile range, mean deviation, standard deviation. Those who belong to it, or those who have this subject in their researches or in their study, they are very much aware about all these data, because you all know how all this data is working, right? Any
Yes,
questions? सबको समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Second is inferential analysis of data that is conducted when we are
Ma'am,
yes.
one doubt, ma'am. In the measures of dispersion of data, there is an interquartile range. What actually it means, ma'am?
Interquartile range is like when we use to divide the data in frequency, like
Oh,
0 to 10, 11 to 20, right? We use to set the data in range. That is interquartile range.
okay,
And
ma'am.
then
Thank you.
only
Thank you,
the
ma'am.
mean deviation and standard deviation is able to be, we'll be able to find out the standard and mean deviation only when we can divide the data in this range. If I'm not wrong, the people who belong to this subject can like give their opinion about it. According to me, it is the same, right or wrong?
Ma'am, is interquartile synonym to class interval, ma'am?
Yeah, you can say that is a synonym to class interval or frequency division.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Now, inferential analysis of data is conducted when we are trying to find cause and effect relationship within the data set. When we used to find out that this is the data and this is the cause and this is the effect, this is the problem and this is its effect. So when we used to find out the data in that form and then we create an analysis for that, that is called inferential. Like this statistics is induction based statistics and allow us to make inferences about the population by examining the sample. It's like we have taken the sample from sample about any of the population, like we are researching on how effective the teacher is teaching in the class. Then obviously it is impossible to take the opinion of the all the 60 students of the class. Then we are taking only 5 7 students randomly and have taken their feedbacks, and that will be okay. That is like sampling we are doing. We are, that is called inductive method, because we are not doing anything. We are just putting our effort to take the opinion, and if and we are giving the chances to all the students equally that this is the question, and if anyone can give the answer, then only we can understand that it's not about the student I have chosen, he is not able to give the answer but others know the answer. It means there is no problem with the teacher, but the grasping power of the student is a problem. So cause and effect is, cause is the teacher is teaching good but the student is not able to grasp, or some students are able to grasp properly. Then about those students who cannot take the lesson properly, who are facing problem, then the teacher should interact with them also and try to put more effect to make them understand about the particular topic. That is cause and effect judgment should be there, and in that we use inductive based statistics. Got it? Like analysis we used to do, okay, that can be done. So when we are adding our input into that, that is inferential. Okay, understood? No or yes? I'm not getting any answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Like
Yes, ma'am.
इसमें one more.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
One more example we
Yeah,
can
yes.
take, that if a teacher is teaching something and she find or he find that a few of the students are really weak in the subject and are not getting the procedure among all the students, they can put a separate or an extra class for them. That is a input induction thing with them. That is also inferential. Now next is exploratory. Exploratory analysis of data is concerned with the exploration of data with the multiple representation of data like graph, stem, leaf, histogram, etc. When we have a data and we are representing it with any kind of diagram, or a chart presentation, and then we are creating the hypothesis for the test and are explaining all the hypothesis to find out the actual result. That is called exploratory. That we have made a pie chart that this is how that many students are were brilliant, that much student were average, that much students were very low, and these are the students who were in the between. Sometimes they become the part of it, or sometimes they become the part of it, or like anything. We have divided it. So now the pie chart is there, and now on the basis of that, we are creating a hypothesis that these students particularly are, according to them, teacher is not good, your teaching method is not good. According to them, teaching method is not good, but teacher is good. Okay, but teacher is good. According to these brilliant students, both are good. According to them, both is average because they got it average, so they are taking both the things as average. So that is like the four hypothesis has created, that whether this or this. Now to understand all these things, what we have to do, we have to analyze it, and to analyze all the things, that whether this particular thing is okay, this, there are four hypotheses. Whatever is the correct one will be the alternative hypothesis. Whatever will be the wrong one will be the null hypothesis. Got it? The hypothesis
Yes,
which
ma'am.
Yes,
shows
ma'am.
zero result, the hypothesis which will show zero result is null hypothesis, and the hypothesis which show positive or negative effect, anything, the hypothesis can be proved, that is alternative hypothesis. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now, there are five steps to examine statistical analysis. What are the five steps? First of all, I have told you that there are two types of data, qualitative and quantitative data. In the last class, we have done that.
Yes, ma'am.
Qualitative and quantitative data, you have done it. Okay, fine, you have to revise a few of the things. So it is important research tool used by scientists, government, business, and other organization to understand it, to draw a valid conclusion. Statistic analysis requires careful planning. From the very start of the research process, you need to specify the hypothesis that made decision about your research design, sample, and sampling procedure. You have to make the hypothesis in a way that the examiner can understand that basically what your research is all about and in which direction it is going. Now, after collecting data from various sample, you have to organize and summarize the data from the descriptive statistic. Then you have to do the inferential statistics, and then ultimately explorative one. So we have to go to the all the three kinds so that our result will be accurate. Now here they have given the example, that we can just leave it. Now what are the five things? First, write your hypothesis. That is the first step. Writing a statistical hypothesis. The goal of research is often to investigate a relationship between variable. Within a population, you start with a prediction and use statistical analysis tests that predict. Okay. A statistical hypothesis is a formal way of writing prediction about a population. Every research prediction is rephrased as null or alternative hypothesis. That I have told you what is a null hypothesis, what is an alternative hypothesis. These are the answers. A 5-minute meditation exercise will have no effect on maths. That is a negative, or basically when no such kind of, when no such kind of result is there, that is called null hypothesis. Will improve, that is positive result is there, or some result is there, that is called alternative. Fine. When you
Yes, ma'am.
find
Yes,
nothing,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
nothing in the hypothesis, then it is null. When you find something, that is alternative. So first you have to create a hypothesis. Second is planning your research design. You have to plan your research design. How? In overall strategy of data collection and analysis, it determines statistical test you can use to test your hypothesis later on. First, decide whether your research will use a descriptive correlation or experimental, मतलब वही descriptive, inferential और exploratory. कौन सा method आप अपने उसके लिए use करोगे? You have to decide, or you are going with all the three. Then your research design also concern you will compare participants on a group level or individual level. आप किस तरीके से उन्हें compare करोगे? So in between subject design or within subject design or a mixed design, you have to create all these things because that depends on your data. Whether it is a qualitative data or a quantitative data, then only you can decide that in which way you have to go. This is the third step and a very important, that is measurable measuring variables. अब आपको मैंने measures बताए थे, input measure, output measure and performance measure. Remember.
Yes, ma'am.
So in input we have done nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio. Remember.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. If we are dividing a complete set of sample gender basis, then it will be nominal. Fine. Then उस gender basis data को we have divided age wise, then it is ordinal. Well, then we will qualitatively like when we have done this nominal and ordinal, and then we have to find out the result on the basis of descriptive or inferential or exploratory. Then we have to make the interval of that, that is interval testing that, or putting the data into the frequency or the class interval, that is interval scale we have to use. And after that, when the result will come, that is the ratio of all the data which we have divided, that we have created a ratio for that. That is called measuring variables. How we have to measure all the variables? By putting them into the input. When we will find out the ratio, and ultimately we have to use the output data by using that, whether it is a qualitative data or a quantitative data, then we have to put the output measures into it and have to come out with the result. And then ultimately performance. What is the ultimate finding? We have to describe the ultimate performance measure into that. That is why this particular topic has been taken previously or initially, so that you all will be able to understand when it comes to the data collection, when it comes to the measurement of the data on the basis of like statistical or anything, then you will be able to understand. Now see the example, many variables can be measured at a different level of precision. For example, age data can be quantitative data, right? Then what we have to do, we have to categorize that on the basis of ages, and then level of agreement between 1 to 5 and all, class interval, gender also can be used here. And it does not automatically mean that it's quantitative instead of category. Okay? If we are taking a numerical data, that doesn't mean it is quantitative only. It can be qualitative and quantitative both, that means categorical. We have collected the data on the basis of category. Then identifying the measurement level, that what we have to use, input then output then performance of choosing the appropriate statistical hypothesis test. For example, you can calculate a mean score with qualitative data, बट नॉट द कैटेगरिकल डेटा. तो आप मीन स्कोर किस पे कर सकते हो? आप मीन मीडियम किस पे निकाल सकते हैं? क्वांटिटेटिव डेटा पे, लेकिन कैटेगरी के ऊपर नहीं निकाल सकते. सी दिस इज हाउ दे हैव डिवाइडेड द डेटा. This is how they have divided the data. Variable age का जो डेटा होगा, we have to divide into the ratio, that is qualitative, gender, category, nominal. Then race and ethnicity is categorical. Then baseline test score, quantitative, final test score, quantitative. Such is the data. That if we are testing or making a competition or comparing it, that is all categorical or interval data like qualitative. Now, second is collection of data. In collection of data, I have told you two types of collection. That is, one is like sample from sample. I have told you two type of sampling. What are that? In the last class we have done it. बता सकते हैं? Anyone remember?
Probability and
Yes,
non-probability.
probability and non-probability are the sampling which we have to use here. So in the probability sampling, every member of the population is being chosen randomly, and in non-probability, according to the convenience or voluntary selection should be there. So this is the parameter which we are using for our sampling section. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So that is the two steps I am doing till today, because we